Hi, I'm Jacob, and this is my review of Don't Be Dumb by ASAP Rocky. This is his fourth studio album. He hasn't put out pretty much anything in like a decade, and normally that is pretty bad news for all music listeners, okay? Because comeback albums pretty much always suck. I will say, I think this is probably on the same level as his previous album, albeit I didn't finish literally anything in his whole discography. Nothing of his do I have rated at all. But I think that I could probably, just on track titles alone, rate his mixtape. For the first track, the hook was alright, the verses were pretty boring. I will say we are entering levels of Pharrell mediocrity. You know those tracks that start blending together in some of the albums he's produced? That's what's going on with this beat. It feels like there's nothing there. It's kind of like soulless, needs some inspiration. It feels like it was just like cooked up like 10 years ago and just put into a mix. Track 2 is textbook ASAP Rocky. I think he might own the cowbell at this point, at least inside the trap scene. He's got that real distorted synth going on that he usually rocks with, and a mean-ass bass, and then random texture with like helicopter sounds. Skip track 3, obviously it's a skit. Track 4 is just a better track 2. This easily has the best flows on the whole record. I don't usually, and I try not to, mention lyrics, but he was really cooking up some like great references on this. The main distorted synth line on the track gets a little old just by a pinch. First, it's like one of the highlights of the track, right? It's one of the things that pulls you in. I think it is pretty good at the start for like 1 minute in. Okay, it gets old fast though, especially if you put this song on repeat or something. It's similar to that one Lana Del Rey song, Diet Mountain Dew, where the hook is so short and it has to be played so often because the song has to run like 3 minutes or whatever, that it just gets old really, really fast. On Stay Here for Life, I swear every single time I hear this Brent Faiyaz guy on a feature or something on a track, I think he's The Weeknd first. I don't know if he's doing that on purpose or he just naturally sounds like The Weeknd, but I definitely hear it. Maybe I should look at some of his solo stuff or something. Maybe there is like a distinct difference that I'm not noticing. But anyways, the first verse sounds like early Big Sean stuff, okay? After that, Rocky pitches his voice down in the song for the hook specifically, which would be a cool effect, but it's not really interesting on this song in general. The melody and beat is pretty boring. So not that we're on Playa, I didn't address it last track because it didn't matter as much, but his verses are suddenly either generic or just straight up not good at all. And it's right after the banger that is track 4, like, come on. Also, the Kiss Me outro on this song is insufferable. What are we doing? ASAP really made something special back in 2011 with his mixtape, but he's been making songs exactly like this No Trespassing song to try to recreate the spark he had in 2011, and it just feels like bad copies every single time. And also, it's been done so much at this point where it's like, none of these will ever feel special. Okay, this guy ASAP, he's married, he's got kids now. Does he really not have anything more to say than what he said on like the skit before Playa? Like this whole album has been generic lyrics after generic lyrics and just like a topics of we're on trespassing now. We're like, really? Now I'm commenting this just because there isn't much to comment on some of these tracks, but it wouldn't change my enjoyment of the track at all, to be honest, if this lyrics were changed to be better. Just because of the beat on some of these songs kind of get nothing out of me. This one is definitely a step up from the previous 3 though. I think I definitely like this one. Track 9 mixed it up for sure, but it's like a sideways move. I don't really know what to comment on this track besides that. Like, yeah, it's kind of interesting. We're doing something different, but the drums, like, really? And Punky Rock, though, is a stellar rock song and like a psychedelic track. It's got a great hook, great production. I pretty much love the whole track. If he made an album like Lil Yachty did, right, recently, where his like Pink Floyd-ish influenced album, I would low-key be interested to see what ASAP would do with that, provided he gets a good producer like Yachty did. Air Force has really good energy. I think that's the main highlight of the track. The breaks are nice and atmospheric and all, but I don't think they add anything to the track. The energy from the verses definitely just drives the whole thing. I would have preferred a more aggressive turn than the hooky atmospheric stuff. Also, a lot of songs on this album so far have had a synth line that is just too short, okay? It's like a 2-second loop or something, and it loops for the whole song. They're not changing. We had for sure a chance on this track to do something aggressive, to do something interesting, to like change the synth line, to make it like really aggressive or something, okay? But it didn't happen. I think it could have happened in a lot of these tracks so far. Oh yeah, what about the drums? The drums are also super like loopy and they're doing the same thing the whole song. Okay, well they get a pass because they're drums, okay? Synths carry a melody and they're mixed high, so like let's lock in, okay? Track 12 is a slower, groovier track. Still with the ASAP Rocky trap theme though, okay? I was upset at first to hear the pace of this song when I first listened to this album, but I think it's fine now. I have no problems with this track other than West Side Gun needs to stop. Like, why does he ruin every feature? We need an intervention for this guy. Okay, he needs to stop doing the boom, 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 boom stuff. Okay, like come on now. How are you a feature and you're not even rapping? And he does this all the time, by the way. Is he paid for this? He's paid for this every single time for these features? Like, seriously? Robbery is straight up the coolest track on the whole album. It's no questions asked. Every time I re listen to the album, I'm just waiting for the song. There's incredible chemistry between Doechii and Rocky over what is, I mean, let's be honest, it's straight up Caravan. Like, they literally just took Caravan and did their thing over it. But it is great, though. It is great. I love it. Don't Be Dumb / Trip Baby, which is like the last half of the song, is a pretty psychedelia track turned into like a fast-paced rap song with a techno, which is sick, by the way. It's like a techno little beat thing. But at this point, I think we can just say that the non-hip-hop stuff on the album, it's better than the hip-hop stuff. On average is what I'm saying. Obviously, the Stoli flow thing is goated, but on average, he's cooking more when he's doing psychedelia. Okay. The End is just, I mean, what a feature from Jessica Pratt. I loved her album in 2014. I thought it was incredible. Obviously, I never would have guessed she'd appear on an A$AP Rocky album, but she has a great feature on like what is a pretty good song. I think it's a little lazily written, in my opinion. The chorus isn't good enough for the song to be this chorus heavy. For the last two songs, SWAT Team and Fish and Steak, the first one has a pretty good delivery on the bridge from Rocky. Other than that, there's like this little techno clicking thing at like 126 and like 140. That sounds pretty nice. That's it. No other compliments for the SWAT Team track. And then for the closer, I mean, even Tyler couldn't make this beat or melody interesting. Like, does A$AP Rocky even like it? Like, he sounds like he just got up from a nap when he's doing the hook. Overall, I mean, he's definitely still talented enough to make something as special as his first mixtape, but I don't think he cares enough to get a good enough producer, to be honest. Or maybe it's that he thinks this is the best he can do. Either way, I only see his quality going down from here, which is fair because he's got a family now, so good luck to him.